Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Welcome to Night of the Living Podcast. It's Staff Picks.
Staff Picks.
If you remember Staff Picks when you would go into, like, if someone's too young to remember this, it's possible you've never been in a video store, but there was a time, and I think all of us worked in the video store, or just me and Amy?
I did not work at a video store.
I've went to many video stores. I rented videos.
So, you know, you go into the store and there's that, they'll have this one bookshelf where they've displayed each employee's top 5 movies, their staff picks. And that's what we're doing. So these are things that don't have to fit into anything that we normally do, which is sci-fi, fantasy, or horror. And it's Kelley's pick this month.
Formerly Podcaster's Choice. If you're a long-time listener and you're like, wait, what?
We do this at the beginning of every year because we all have January birthdays.
Birthdays.
Birthdays. And we like to celebrate our birthdays by foisting our picks on each other and the listener.
Yeah.
But I think we do it because we want to share our love of something with you.
Yes, and one does get tired of horror movies at some point and talking about them.
So it's and I think it lets you really know us better, and we get to know each other better through these. Because what Amy picks is going to be drastically different than what Andy picks.
Nope, we're picking the same movie.
Oh, we are? Awesome.
And
Can't wait to talk about it
We're going to talk about it twice.
Yeah.
And Kelley, and I'm Freddy, by the way, but Kelley and me would probably pick more similar stuff to you. Our tastes are a little more similar, but they're still different enough that we always bring something sooner or later.
Something. It's like a potluck. Mm-hmm. Think of it.
Welcome to our potluck.
And I'm the oldest and the first, so that makes me daddy.
Mm-hmm.
First is your name.
So we'll have Roulette. I am going to review a movie called The Pale Door.
Yeah.
Which took me forever to piece together. I forgot I had it.
It was a to-do yesterday.
2, I was saying the name when I went back and listened to the Roulette from last week. I said the name 4 or 5 different ways, like an old man would. I Salon Dijoned it to the where I had 4 or 5 different titles I had to look up. I didn't realize, I did that, but I was a mess. Okay. So, but I'll talk about that. Origins, you can get that on our Patreon, which that's where we go back and listen to our early episodes and add a commentary about all the horrible shit we said. Big thanks to all you patrons. That's how the show is possible.
And sometimes we double down on it.
Yeah.
Oftentimes. Oftentimes.
That's not true.
Yeah.
And if you're a new listener, you're like, oh, you go back to your old episodes, from 3 years ago? No, bitch, we are pioneers, okay?
Yeah, we have a deep
This is 12
archive.
years ago.
We are pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been doing it. We've been doing these origins. This is the 125th episode just of those.
My.
Where we recorded 125 intros now since we've been doing Patreon.
I own it, when people out in the world find out, about the show, or I talk about it and they're like, oh, you have a podcast? I say, I am a podcast pioneer.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm proud of that.
And they start to chuckle and I just look and I'm like, what's funny, asshole?
And then you shove them.
And then I shove them to the ground and I walk away.
Yeah, so we survived the Oregon Trail of podcasting.
That's right. Remember we used to have to tie string?
Really cool after that.
Yeah.
Well, we might be old podcasters, but 2020 threw us a
But we're bold.
curveball. And we rolled with the new, which is doing this completely by Zoom on account of the pandemic and stuff. That stuff. Whatever. But now we are in a new year.
We are.
2021.
Happy New Year, by the way. It's the first step of 2021. 21.
Yeah.
We're 21.
We're 21.
Everything's fine now. 2020 is over.
And we're still doing this by Zoom.
Yep.
We're just lazy
for a while.
We're choosing to.
I'm looking forward to being in the same room again. There is something that can't be duplicated over Zoom. A certain
Farts.
Our smells.
That's what it is. Reacting to each other's smells.
Yeah. I can still react to you, Freddie, because, obviously we live together. But, I can tell sometimes when Andy's farting, but I can't smell it.
I always lift my leg. I always bend, lean to one side so the fart can dissipate.
Yes.
I can usually feel the heat.
We are 40-year-old people.
I fart very infrequently.
Well, good for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Freddie was just discussing how, we had ordered a steak. He ordered a steak for date night last night. And I was like, oh, that was date night because I seem to remember the whole evening.
I farted a lot.
You just farting all night. And I was like, is that you flirting with me?
I said, that's me flirting with you.
Did it work? What did it work, Amy?
Flirting.
It almost did, strangely enough.
He's a handsome man. I like him.
I don't want to yuck your yum, but
she likes me to fart.
But the farts definitely put a damper on.
It was not. They were not check marks in the plus column.
No. But
I wasn't in that mode last night.
Of being cute.
I was just a bag of gas,
farts,
of wind.
But when you're on the playground and they tell little girls, "Oh, if a boy's picking on you, it just means he likes you."
Well, then he likes me a lot.
If a boy farts on you,
but the thing is, I would have been picking on everybody.
He was picking on the dog.
I was picking on the whole house.
You're flirting with everybody?
Yeah.
And I just want everybody to know,
Flartin'.
I think farts are funny. If you don't, I'm so sorry, but whatever. But it was incessant.
Yeah, it was bad. And I think it was I blame the salad. My body, I was saying before, my body has, it doesn't process vegetables the same because we're not getting enough of them.
Yeah.
Well, I think as you get older, it's just certain vegetables are harder just to, they're fibrous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, as you get older, I feel like you tend to fart more anyway because your insides are, they're not yet spring chickens anymore.
They're rotting and they're creating their own gas.
Yeah.
As age eats us alive.
I think of my grandparents and I think about them and how often they farted. And you're right, Andy. They were constantly farting. My grandpa could fart on command, and I just don't even understand how you do that.
Like a wind blowing through the willows.
It's a fine line.
Yeah. Seriously. But he was a World War II vet, I guess,
That's like pulling out is your only form of childbirth.
Yeah.
You don't.
Of childbirth?
You got to get close. Child prevention.
Yep, you got to pull them out.
Most of us, that's our only way of childbirth is just yanking it out one way or the other.
Are we not ruse?
Anyway.
As a fart, do you ever need to pull out a fart? I mean, do you need to go in?
No.
You can't pull. Can you pull? You can't pull gas. You can only push it.
You can vacuum it out.
It's a breech birth. It's coming out feet first.
Oh no, a sideways fart.
Yep, those are the worst.
You need to get a C-section for that.
Wayward stories from Sideways Fart.
I love those books. They're great books.
Kelley, you picked this first main attraction.
Wait, what?
Did I give you a little breakneck? We haven't said what our main attraction is yet, though.
No.
So do you want it to be a surprise later?
Oh no, it's rock and roll, y'all.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I was so excited when you said this was your pick.
It's fucking awesome.
It really is. And if you listen to the show all the time and you heard us talking about Christmas specials, Halloween specials, there was we did one about the Devil and Daniel Mouse, which is the same creators.
Also, I realized, now I didn't verify this with Google, but I can just tell, it looks like it's the same. I know Nelvana did work on the Raccoons cartoon from the 80s. If it's a Canadian cartoon, but they would show it sometimes here. The raccoons.
I've never heard of it.
Looks like same animation.
Cool.
Raccoons.
I love
You
it.
would remember it if I showed it to you.
This style of animation is one of my favorite things.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the apex for me, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. So anything else for the top?
Just a reminder, go to patreon.com/NOTLP to support the show.
Topicana, we didn't mention that. That's a fun show where we get personal.
Yeah.
And talk about just about whatever that person wants to ask about. Last week, Amy had us come up with our dream destinations.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying the Topicana episodes. They're a lot of fun for me to think of. I kind of like to think about them throughout the day before we get together. We also didn't mention that patrons, we spent New Year's Eve together with some of yous, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that was great.
That was perfect.
That's a benefit if you want to hang out with us on New Year's.
Did you say bang out?
Hang out.
If you want to bang out with us on New Year's.
No banging out, because it's all on Zoom.
Zoom bang out.
It's a Zoom bang out for our patron Zoom bang outs.
Zoom bang out.
Should we start calling them Zoom bang outs?
No.
Yeah, we need to start a new Patreon tier if we're going to do the bang outs.
Yeah.
That's going to be a drastically more expensive tier. Drastically.
I wouldn't say drastic.
I would. You know what? There could be 4 tiers of this tier. One for each of us. Mine's going to be impossible.
You're the apex.
Anyway,
You're the price. You're the bottom bitch.
I'm going to be the bottom bitch.
That means you're the top runner.
Yeah. It's been 3 days of the new year, and I haven't done jack and or shit.
Oh, we played video games though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's kind of my New Year's resolution, even though I don't do those, is I'm trying to play more games because I think it's the golden age of video games right now. Doom Eternal is so fucking great. Oh, wow.
I died too many times. I got mad.
It's just this driving heavy metal and constant run and gun, like an old arcade game.
Run and gun.
To make you feel like a badass.
It just makes my heart race in a good way.
Is that the video game or just your high blood pressure?
It could be
blood pressure.
It could be an arrhythmia, but well, and then Amy's been playing some Oblivion again.
No, Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Listen, I don't care how old that game is, and I don't care what else comes out. It's still I long for it.
Oh, and we finished Little Hope, the second dark anthology game that came out. The Larry Fessenden and all those guys worked on, which was really fun.
Great.
I can't wait for the third one. It's an Egyptian horror story. I believe. It might be in Iraq. I'm not sure. It's a desert setting. But it had Pazuzu in it from The Exorcist.
Zuzu.
The statue.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
What's up, Pazuzu? How you been?
Just Pazuzuing around.
I like that voice you gave him. It's very like an old jazz musician.
Thanks, man. I just sometimes I haven't found a little girl to speak on, through in a little while. So I just figured I'd just sit down here in this statue.
Can you imagine Linda Blair scatting?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, crossing my bosom.
I think that's scatting is what that demon calls throwing Linda Blair shit at priests.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. Oh, man.
Like scat, Father Karras.
Pazuzu, that's an adorable take on Pazuzu.
He's like, I don't want to say. I don't think I should say.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to do anything. You like scat?
Yeah, I like scat.
Fling ship.
That's how they get you. Because, who doesn't love jazz scat?
I like to think of Father Karras as Charlie Brown and Pazuzu as Lucy, and he keeps promising not to be mean to him.
Oh, he keeps from pulling the football out of his way.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight-to-video Russian roulette.
Where's the goddamn sink? Who are you?
My name is Pearl.
Well, there goes our big payday.
She's just an innocent woman.
We ain't gonna sell her anything when we do.
If you take me to my home, there would be a handsome reward. This way, to the brothel.
Gentlemen, please, make yourselves at home.
I understand there was a reward.
Of course. A handsome sum for these handsome men. Don't be afraid.
What just happened? We gotta get out of this too. We either find our way out of this or go down swinging. Let's go!
This was whoopsie daisy. This was really good. The Pale Door.
Kelley, you're muted, my friend.
And it's just a really solid Western on its own. It's kind of a very loosely based, I think, on the Dalton gang. Really, it could be anybody. But it's these two brothers, Duncan.
It's called The Pale Door.
Yeah, I said Pale Door.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
That door needs some iron. I love a horror Western.
Yeah, Kelley, I thought about you a lot while I was watching this, actually.
Yeah, man, I think I'll check this out.
I think it is underrated. I've seen people kind of bitch about it, which was surprising to me. Also, even though I know this sounds funny, but I know I just played audio from a trailer. I don't recommend watching the trailer for this. Going into it, I didn't know at all what was going on other than it was clearly a horror Western. That was obvious. But these brothers, Duncan and I think Jake, they are, I'm guessing, 10 years apart, pretty significant age difference. And Duncan, who was played by Zachary Knighton, who was on Happy Endings, which was kind of a weird thing because we just saw somebody else from Happy Endings and something the night before. But
Adam Pally. It was in that Creep
Show. Was the Creep Show Christmas special, yeah. The brothers, the younger one is running this ranch, and the older brother is an outlaw, and he has his gang, which is him, and they're kind of adopted father, Lester, who is played by Stan Shaw, who is a character actor you're going to recognize from all kinds of stuff, but horror fans, he was the cop in the Monster Squad.
Oh, shit. Wait, the dad cop?
No, the black guy.
All right, yeah.
And Noah Segan is in the gang. He plays a character called Truman, and Pat Healy.
Pat Healy.
This is a great role for Pat Healy. He's kind of channeling like Robert Duvall, if you're a fan of Duvall at all.
Duvall at all.
His performance in this is really, really good. Bill Sage is the last member of the gang, and he's kind of the tough guy. The character's name is Dodd. He's like the guy who, almost like the Michael Madsen character in Reservoir Dogs.
He's the wild card.
Yeah, you don't know exactly where he stands. He could do anything. The brothers clearly, they love each other. And the character that kind of stepped in for their dad, Lester, you can tell they have a really good relationship. And Noah Segan's character is kind of just, in a way, kind of the goofier guy in the group, a little bit of comic relief, but real subtle. It still feels like a real character. It's not just one-dimensional.
That sounds all right for Noah Segan.
He's great. I think that he's going to be like one of those actors like Steve Buscemi who gets into like a really long career and everybody knows his face. And one of these days, he's just going to pop up. Huge.
He has a very distinctive face, too.
Yeah. So,
face.
Did you say something about Mom from Pen 15 yet?
Yeah, Melora Walters.
Yeah.
She comes in later, but she's in this, and she's you know I love Melora Walters. She has a style of acting that looks like bad acting, kind of like Amanda Plummer, but it's her brand, and it's just there's something special enough about her that she can be slightly off the mark of what we're used to seeing in a big movie, and still, upstage people, and still outshine them in the grand scheme of things. So she's a real fascinating actress for me. I love to watch her and stuff because her delivery is always basically the same. She's not one of those people that becomes a character. She brings what she has to every role, and that's what you get. So she is a very important character, but doesn't come along until the second act. The brothers and the Dalton gang, they little backstory: the brothers' parents were killed. Their home was raided, and their parents died in that. In the beginning of the movie, and so you understand why they have this relationship with this man who was formerly worked for their dad, is now their kind of like their foster father. But they all decide they're going to rob this train, and so at this point I'm totally into it. It didn't even need any horror stuff, and but this isn't like a big Western movie. This is like what you can do with a low budget, kind of like what they did with Bone Tomahawk. That sort of thing, where it's just very much there are little flourishes. They may shoot, the barkeep sweeping up glass, but they'll shoot it from the floor, so you see the close up of the glass and everything. And that's nice little touches like that give it some style, but it's very bare bones otherwise.
Very bare bones, yeah.
But they do the train robbery scene, which is a really great scene, and they find this this trunk, and when they open the trunk, there's a woman in it. A young woman who is played by, and this is a funny thing, a little bit of trivia, Natasha Bassett. The character's name is Pearl, but she played Britney Spears in that TV movie. Do you remember that movie that came out 3 years ago?
Lifetime or something?
Yeah, I think it was Lifetime.
Yeah, I never saw it.
I didn't either, but I was looking at her IMDb, and I was like, and she has credit as Britney Spears, and I was like, what? They made a Britney Spears movie? Anyway,
what?
She was very good.
Britney Spears, the movie. It was a huge blockbuster. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. So this is where the turn is coming, obviously, from the first act to the second act, and when those characters come into it. And I don't want to spoil anything. So what I'm going to say is it does, once they find her in the trunk, things begin to spiral out from there in interesting ways.
Well, the trailer gave a lot away. So
don't watch the trailer. I tried. This is as much as I think you should know going into it, is right up to what I've said, nothing more. If you know any more than that, it won't be as fun to watch. So I apologize to the podcasters who had to see the trailer. I should have just played the sound. I'm sorry.
Monster.
I am a son of a bitch.
I don't exactly. I mean, I already knew what I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I'm sorry. Andy.
Amy read the description when she picked the movie, and it pulled me in. I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
It's a Western, which I love, and horror and witches, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
And it's elevated because the performances are really good. The performances are great. The visual effects are really good.
Is this another Shudder original, boy?
Yeah. Well, I think it might be one that they bought.
Or original. Yeah. It's one or the other, right? It's an exclusive or an original.
Yeah. It's one of those.
Good job, Shudder. You're fucking killing it, bro.
They really are.
But I mean, there are people that hated this movie too. Don't get me wrong.
I don't hear them.
Yeah, but if you like westerns, and to say for anybody to say that the person who made this, Aaron B. Kuntz, I think is his name, for them to say that he doesn't grasp, somebody had said he doesn't grasp either of the genres, was most off the mark criticism I've heard about this. I think it's really good as a western and as a horror movie. I loved it.
Part of me hopes that the person that made that is listening, and they feel shame.
Who made that comment?
Yeah, in their hearts.
But
Like,
different strokes, man. I can understand somebody who felt that way.
Yeah, no, sure, but just I hope they do though.
Sometimes
that's okay.
Yeah.
I hope it. There's no harm in that.
A little shame feeling, sure, no harm. Sometimes the things we dislike in others, the things we criticize others for, are the things that we're truly reckoning with in ourselves. So when this man says,
I might not like that movie.
No, I'm saying when this man says he doesn't have a grasp on these genres, mayhap you don't.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Mayhap.
Oh, Amy, you just opened a can of worms.
Can you put the lid back on that?
Can I put the lid on it?
Everywhere.
No, because it's
all these worms.
It's
Jesus.
I had to use a can opener to open that can, and I can't seal it back again.
Do you have like a Tupperware?
Oh yeah, definitely have some Tupperware.
Well, let's put them worms in there.
Okay, we'll definitely do that.
I will say, Freddy, just by looking at the trailer, it looked a little too clean. If that's a
like I said, there aren't a lot of them.
Bare bones.
It's it's bare bones. It's very much like shot on digital, point at the action and film it. But there are title
just the costumes and the sets. It looks like they went to those old timey.
Photo booth things. Oh my God! Do you understand that when I've been vaccinated and we're all good to go? We're going down to fucking Pigeon Forge. I'm going to Dollywood, and we're going to leave Dollywood, and we're going to go get one of those old timey pictures taken. I don't care.
Oh, I can't wait because I don't have one of those. I'm going to be
want one.
I'm going to be a saloon girl.
Yeah, you and me are going to be saloon girls.
But there is a reason that those costumes look the way they do because they
can't afford better because of the budget.
And honestly, like they're telling a story here. I look at this and I see an old West town. But it feels kind of like the way when they would go to the old West on Star Trek.
Yeah,
it feels like an older Western in that it's so simple. But the title cards, the opening credits and ending credits, they do a lot of nice artwork for that give it a nice bookend feeling where what's in between you can just tell there's like a basic level of competency, and they're like, we don't need to prove anything about how we're not going to reinvent the wheel on how to make a fun actiony horror Western. If we're going to do the things that matter the most really well and hope that people forgive that the town looks like an amusement park type of like old ghost town that you would visit on a vacation.
Yeah, I get it. It's like I feel like this is more about the story than the actual like sets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Costumes.
Word up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see who's gonna watch the next one. I've got a Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box.
A Jack in the Box is worth two in the bush.
Oh damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Freddie, you just went, so we're gonna start with Kelley.
Let's see what Kelley does.
What did Kelley do?
Cranking it.
Seems to be fine.
Safe.
That motherfucker's still trapped in that Jackbox.
That's Andy.
You know what that means, Andy?
I know. It means Andy is fine. I lost.
You still gotta crank it, baby.
Crank.
It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
So I was over on Amazon Prime today just to see what was new over that way in the horror section. And they were like, you might like this. It's called Body Cam starring Mary J. Blige.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Is she in a dancery? No.
No more drama.
No more drama.
Horror.
What?
No more drama. Horror.
All right.
Science fiction.
When a routine traffic stop results in the unexplained grisly death of her colleague, a cop, Mary J. Blige, realizes footage of the incident will play for her eyes only. As the attacks mount, she races As the attacks mount, she races to understand the supernatural force behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Body cam.
So her partner was a bear?
What?
A real
bear. It was a grisly murder.
Oh my God.
I got you, Andy.
I get it now. That's pretty great.
This also stars Anika Noni Rose, who was the voice of Tiana.
Yeah.
cool.
Tiana from Princess and the
Mary J.
Frog.
Blige was really good in season 1 of Umbrella Academy.
Oh, she's in that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
She's in season 1
of what?
And she's Umbrella Academy. Yeah.
How long has she been acting? Do you guys know? Is that like a new development?
I think ever since the Dancery closed down. She was full of hateration, so she had to channel it somewhere.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It had been percolating for a minute.
All right, we'll be back with the main attraction.
Good band, hot music, the best of times. It could have lasted forever. Rock and rule. Journey to a world where the cosmic forces of music, magic, and technology collide, bringing you head to head with a beast from another dimension. The Beauty, songs by Deborah Harry. The Beast, songs by Lou Reed and Iggy Pop. The Beat, songs by Cheap Trick and Earth, Wind and Fire. Love everywhere. Rock and rule.
This movie is so great. Kelley, you need to unmute, by the way. Sorry.
My dear friend, we would like to hear your voice. Tell us about your selection.
Especially, there he is.
I don't know. Why I keep...
It's because when I play the video, I mute your microphone.
Oh,
but
it's you.
But it won't let. Oh, it's me. But it won't let me unmute you now. You have to do it. Where it used to let me do both.
I got it. All right.
What is happening?
Legend.
Hold on.
What?
World tremble.
That was interesting, huh?
Freddie just started playing
Fire and Ice trailer.
Yeah, I saw that. It came up next.
Must have been an autoplay there, eh?
Yeah.
So you guys got to learn a lot about the technical side of the show today.
Yeah. Rock and rule, baby. This, as I said earlier, is a movie that I have seen lots of bits and pieces from. The songs are, several of the songs are pretty familiar to me because it was on TV all the time when I was a kid. And I just never put the whole thing together. And I didn't really even understand what any of the story was. And I've been wanting to revisit it because I've been super into animation and animating over the last couple of years. And so I've been following those subreddits and I had looked it up along with like some of the Don Bluth stuff.
Yeah, that's a good comparison too, I think.
Yeah, very similar. And I just thought this was a good time to like just watch it as one whole thing and make everybody watch it with me because it's beautiful. And I feel like it's this really great combo of Don Bluth and Ralph Bakshi, but like none of the overdone rotoscoping. You know, Ralph Bakshi is great, but it's all like super rotoscoped. This still feels like animated cartoon. This has got such a great underground comics, R-Crumb, heavy metal, everything, you know, that's in you encounter with all of that. This is like a perfect encapsulation of it.
Yeah. Well, I love how that it doesn't even try to appeal to kids.
No,
it's definitely just it's for adults, even though it does have some cutesy characters. They're not afraid to go ugly.
No,
yeah, we're sexy.
Yeah,
I wish that had caught on.
Mm-hmm. So when you watched this when you were a kid, did you watch it because it was an animated thing and you're a child?
Yeah, basically. And I just was. I mean, I like cartoons. I liked anime cartoons, and even as a kid.
Did this scare you at all as a child? Because I could see this being a little frightening.
It did me.
No, because it felt like fantasy stuff to me. And it didn't. I don't remember it scaring me. If anything, and this will sound weird, it kind of bored me as a kid a little bit. Like I thought it looked really good, but like I could never quite hang on to the story.
Is it because they were too humanoid-like as opposed to cartoony?
No, I think it was more that I think the story was too grown up for me.
Okay.
I was scared of Mock.
Well, he is a scary character. Yeah. He's a Dracula. Yeah,
he's also like he's very much in line with Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show for me.
Yeah, it's like a Lou Reed, David Bowie kind of taken to Aleister Crowley level.
But I liked him. Like he was a fun villain because he had so many costume changes.
He was a super rocker.
Yeah, he was a rock star too.
Yeah,
he was a super rocker.
A super rocker, all one word.
His posters for his concerts are the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen.
This movie has everything. Great graphic design.
Oh, the music.
I love the music. Yeah.
Well, I love all the genres they threw in. They like stadium rock.
Yeah.
Like funk. You got like some punk and like new wave. It was
Space
like so
glam.
many. Yeah. I felt like it reminded me of Tenacious D a lot.
Yeah.
Like, concept albums and story albums.
Totally.
You don't see that anymore.
It is like an album cover come to life. That's like what I loved about this and heavy metal. My sister, when we were kids, she had a lot of early like metal albums because her boyfriend was really into heavy metal and funk music. And so we had tons of albums like with those just crazy, like the Iron Maiden stuff,
Yeah.
And just that Frank Franzetta style album art. But these movies kind of captured that concept, and then they paired it with the music. They were like, what if the album cover was alive? That's what's so fucking great about them is like they're for music people.
It went hand in hand. I actually was saying last night that I can't believe there isn't a whole subgenre of doom that is devoted to like this.
Yeah.
Because there's so many like sort of horror and fantasy things that are referenced in doom metal. I just can't believe that there isn't a band called Mock.
Right.
There is. I haven't looked it up yet.
Well,
if not, I'll make it.
I feel like bands like The Darkness, they are keeping this subgenre of music alive through their if you've watched their videos or look at the album art, that there's a very consistent thing going on that is like the heritage of stuff like this.
Yeah, and like Ghost too is doing that.
Yeah, and Ghost, yeah.
Yeah, and again, there's a ton of doom and stoner and psychedelic bands that are hardcore, like exactly the same kind of stuff. It's all satanic and high fantasy, sci-fi. It's there's a lot of good music that comes out of all of this.
I wish I watched this with a group while high because that would have made experience so much better.
It's made for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty great, especially when you get to that part where Mock is the weird video that Mock shows.
Uncle Mikey.
Oh.
Well, yeah, no, but where he's like trying to get people to, he's like, I am the greatest.
Okay.
With the weird Rorschach animation.
Yeah. The hypnotic video is like, like from Zoolander. Kind of.
Yes.
What was his name? Will Ferrell's character?
Oh, Montu?
Motu.
Wasn't it?
Motu. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That scene in Zoolander always kind of reminded me of rock and roll.
Oh, I've never seen this before. So we were watching it last night, and Freddy's like trying to explain to me the feelings it evokes before we started it. And then while we're watching it, he's like, I remember from being a kid being like thinking the characters were overtly sexual.
Yeah.
And being afraid of that.
Because I was like 5 or 6 years old and I didn't understand that stuff yet.
Yeah.
I feel like if I watched this as a kid, I think I would have popped a stiffy.
Yeah.
I had some confused feelings. I remember being conflicted. It was a very conflicting set of sounds and imagery.
Yeah.
And it left a big impression.
Memory.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then what were they? Like the Tweedledee, Tweedledum, like henchmen.
The hench people.
Yeah, like Freddy, like they show up and he goes, "Oh, something like that really made me sad when I was a kid is gonna happen. You'll know when it happens." And then when it happens, I'm like, "That."
Well, it was
when he threw away the Uncle Mikey doll.
That was the first half of it.
I got choked up at some point during this movie
when he says we're not evil, are we?
Yeah.
That line always broke my heart a little, you know?
Yeah, it's like of my Simen character.
Yeah.
There's some great storytelling in this and great like things where those characters could have just been easily like Warner Brothers, like you know, like the security guard from Animaniacs, which is I think what they're modeled on, but then they were given some more complexity.
Yeah, what were the henchmen in DuckTales called? Those the
Beagle Boys.
The Beagle Boys. It's like if them, but amped up to like an adult version of them.
And then there's Cindy.
You know, I think Disney owned or used to own this. I don't know if they still do.
Is it in the Disney Vault? Shelved next to Snow White.
Cindy could be problematic. That character.
Yeah.
So which one? Oh, Cindy. The big
Cinderella.
sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a all around weird. That was part of the weird feelings too.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
I love Cindy. She is awesome.
We were all just thinking about it.
You know what? This movie reminded me of Strangers with Candy a lot too.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, totally.
Because it's grimy and kind of sleazy and dirty.
Yeah. I think part of that is the way they shade. There's something about this genre of animation. I was telling Amy this when we were watching it too, that it reminds me also of the animation from Monty Python they used for the interstitials. But the shading, like they used like an airbrush to shade stuff, and the animation, it wiggles with life a little bit from where the shading is not consistent on different frames. And it makes the whole movie just crackle like that.
There's definitely, there are places where like it's almost a little out of control. Yeah. And it gives it that feel. And also it is part of that grime is the design of the underground comics from the 60s, like R. Crumb and Harvey Pekar and those guys, like they were gross, but also, I mean, this is like and that was part of heavy metal. Like this is something that would have come right out of Heavy Metal magazine. That could have been. I love heavy metal. It is a really great movie. I have a lot of nostalgia, but I think this is actually a better movie and a better representation of that magazine and those comics.
I think it almost feels like it's heavy metal. Like this is the feature and heavy metal is the anthology.
I agree. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And this earns being a feature though. Like there's enough story there for it to be a feature where you don't get any of the pieces that are in heavy metal as the anthology really would never work at this runtime.
Right.
So help me remember what had happened that caused all the humans to go away and then just rats, cats, and dogs
it's
to
just
mutate?
A war, wasn't it?
Yeah, nukes, right? I think it was all nuclear, post-nuclear war stuff.
Is that why they call New York Nuke York now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that there's a lot to look into.
Right, I just couldn't remember. I know there was like a little exposition at the beginning, and I just couldn't remember.
Yeah. It's very much just thrown in there to explain. You know, when I was a kid, I never knew that. Like when I watched, did you think when you were a kid that they were just weird looking people?
Well, I just thought I didn't catch that when we watched it. So I just accepted that because it's a cartoon, just like in anime when things are weird, I just accept it.
Same. And I never knew they were supposed to be evolved cats and dogs.
I didn't, but I like it better now.
Yeah.
And
rats, you said, right?
Because that's pretty fucking cool as an explanation. I just thought it was just, it's a cartoon. It's a weird fantasy world, whatever. But that's even better. Yay. And good also for you, Rock and Roll. Yeah. You earned an extra 2 point and you were already at 100%.
Yeah,
you're 102% now.
Extra credit. Graduating with honors.
I had a brain fart.
Oh no, not a brain fart. Oh, the dude, like the guy singer. What was his name again?
Omar. Yeah.
There's something just off-putting about his look, like the red, like shaggy mullet, and
I thought
like
he was adorable
and showing off some chest.
Well, he's supposed to be he's like male id, like he's just all like idiot bullshit. Like
he has tight little buns.
Yeah. He's just angry and horny, and he thinks he's the best, and he's like not very smart. Like I think he's supposed to be off-putting.
Is he a cat?
Are they?
Or is he a dog?
I think they might be cats. But I will tell you this, Freddie brought this up. Every goddamn character had a sweet little tush.
Yeah.
Like they made sure that every
tushies.
had nice little butts.
There's a lot of close-ups of butts in this movie.
That's what's fun for animators. I can promise you this.
It's drawing butts.
Because, well, it's like the Disney people. They always try to sneak in little like sexual
it's fun.
things.
It gives you a boner.
Yeah, but this one is like they just had free will of it and could do whatever.
Butts
I'll have
and
to show
nips.
you guys my butt animation.
And there were a ton of nipples, not shown,
Right.
Pokies. Yeah.
poking out.
Pokies.
Pokies.
Yeah,
That's they call them on Reddit, yeah.
This universe is very cold.
Bouncing, erect
Turkeys are
nipples.
Yeah, a lot of crotch.
Very sexy movie. Love it.
It was.
Like Mock's crotch.
This is what Cool World desperately thought it was or was trying to be.
Wasn't Cool
Could
World
not-
a missed opportunity? That and Monkey Bone. Those two
I've
movies.
never seen Monkey Bone, but Cool World certainly was just a down the drain shit show.
Yeah.
And it was and I
terrible
wanted so
movie.
badly for it to be good.
Yeah.
And I watched it 3 times trying to make myself like it.
Did you
And
say
I hated
you'd
it.
never seen Monkey Bone?
I've never seen Monkey Bone.
Yeah, I mean it's not terrible. It just didn't live up to what it could have been. But if
Yeah.
you've never seen it, I think you'd dig at least the design work.
I've always meant to, but like it's one of those where I know because I haven't really come across too much that I'm like it's probably not that great.
No,
so I'll
it's
get
not
around
really
to
a
it.
very good movie at all, but it's mediocre.
But this, I was like, oh, this is what Cool World thought. Like it was obviously referencing, it was obviously trying to do, but just badly. Just watch Rock and Roll.
So Mock is our villain, and he wants to raise a demon,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
but he has to find the one voice.
Right. Which ironically is also the one thing that can defeat him.
Mm-hmm.
Not one voice, many voices together.
But it turns out.
Right.
So that's why he kidnaps what's her face. What's her face?
Angel.
Thank you.
As in voice like a.
And lips.
I really enjoyed her adventures with Cindy.
Yeah, it was fun. And it was a cute little like B plot line.
Yeah, like Cindy's the female henchwoman.
The Stockard Channing of the piece.
Like but she's shaped like her brother, just big, but she's got like a tiny little waist and nice butt. And you see a lot of it.
She's got big old titties.
Yeah.
Huge tits.
And they're in like pointed retro bra.
Cindy is out to get it
And she's in roller skate. And she's in roller skates.
They
too,
all
which
wear
makes it
roller
even-
skates.
They all wear roller skates, all the henchmen. And she's like, we're going out on the town.
Get some hot
Cindy's
action.
got to get some action. And they go to the dancery. Let's bring that back. I've enjoyed all of the Cindy scenes. She
I
makes
just
me
want to
laugh.
watch this all over again.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
God damn, this is a good movie.
I'll tell you what, there's it's got everything for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I so very much also loved the demon raising scene because it was so glam rocky and still super like satanic. And like it was like this it was like super Rocky Horror, super David Bowie, super like this was so glammy, but it was like, again, this is why I'm so surprised there aren't like doom bands that are dedicated to singing about this movie specifically, because it's so perfect when like the fucking synth pink fucking pentagram floor opens up and the goddamn Lovecraftian demon comes out and they have to use voice and she's all strung up heavy metal style and her boobs
It's very
are swinging around.
Say Ray.
Yeah.
King Kong.
which is Super Conan. Like that's it was just really cool. I think that was my favorite sequence, was the demon raising.
Yeah. That was a great way to bring it all to a head.
I got sprung. I jumped up out my seat.
It's damn magical. And these are worlds like this and, heavy metal are both worlds I'd love to just see fleshed out.
Well, I'd love to see them follow this band around in their hijinks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And the band was really cute.
So what happened to them? I feel like I missed what had happened to them when they were trying to rescue Angel.
Mm-hmm.
The band, the three dudes, Omar, Stretch, and Dizzy.
Mock put this spell on them to make them like derpy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mock's basically Satan in this.
So they were Omar in the daycares.
Yeah.
And they were like Omar in the daycares. Is what their name was?
The daycares, which was so weird. Like I was like,
It's very weird.
The band name's the daycares.
I just like all of a sudden, like I knew something was wrong with them, but I just couldn't understand. It felt like a weird jump.
Yeah. He explains it, but again, it is kind of a jump. Like you can't think too hard about anything.
But they just like get out of the spell, and then they help her sing, and then.
Well, one of my favorite things is this real little moment where Mock is advertising this concert where he's gonna raise his demon and make Angel sing to raise the demon. He still prints up a poster for it.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
So he had the time to do that.
You gotta.
Yeah, and as badass as the first poster you see is, this one's even cooler.
The art was neat.
Mock is great with marketing and design.
He calls it marketing. He's so good at it.
So, Kelley, you had said earlier that there's something for everyone in this movie. Say I'm Ted Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
What's in this movie for me?
I feel like, do you mean surface Ted Cruz or real Ted Cruz? Because everything in this movie is for real Ted Cruz.
Everything is for real Ted Cruz.
It's
this is a
mystery
movie for
boners.
Furries. Yeah, and if it's for fake, if it's for surface public Ted Cruz, everything, because we all know who the secret Ted Cruz is without him telling us.
This movie is for back of house restaurant workers, in front of house crack den dealers,
armchair detectives, Monday morning quarterbacks.
No, it's fantastic. It's short.
Potato sackers.
It gives you a feast for your eyeballs and your earballs.
Yeah.
And it really does, just like what Freddie was saying, it captures all of that great fantasy art from the 70s, 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And today. But it really,
Amy's doing an oldies station promo.
she is. She's Queen Janine.
That's me.
It really brings those comics to, like, it is so perfect, and it represents like a lot of different eras of those comics. They have such a specific feel, and if you're familiar with them, you know what I mean, I think. And again, with those heavy metal album and like those fucking Zepp, all of those awesome rock album covers are inspired by that art. It all goes hand in hand, and then this is like, it's beautiful synergy. I wish
synergy.
I wish adult animated movies of this nature had caught on. Some people have tried to do it, but like now Rob Zombie, I feel like tried to do this with El Super Beasto, and while that is its own thing, it doesn't have the beautiful, like, this was a serious movie. You know what I mean?
It had a moral and a heart to it.
And it was taken. It wasn't like just like this gag, and the animation was obviously like the artists behind this were amazingly talented and took it very seriously. And I just wish that kind of thing. I don't think people think that adults, well, I guess it didn't probably do super well with adults. So maybe it's just not something that you can afford to make in that market. But I wish it had. I wish it had caught on, because I love like that kind of animated movie.
The only thing I can think of that like inspired my eyeballs that way in modern times is maybe Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, I'd love to watch
Into
that
the Spider-Verse
again.
is pretty close. I mean, if you just, and I'm not saying it you have to make it like HBO, like you have to put things in, but like I just want to see, I don't
remember seeing any nipples.
Bigger stories and less limitations.
Right.
On stuff like
because it's animation. You should, if any creative people should be drawn to that as your default medium sometimes when you think about it, because stories, there's no limits.
Yeah,
right now.
That's why if it was my druthers, that's how I would do storytelling. It's the perfect medium.
Well, you say that, and then I read articles about how like Rick and Morty, and how if you think you can do whatever you want, you can. It takes time, effort. That's why Rick and Morty is so hard to do.
No, it does. It's
going to take money too. Whole lot of spending money to do it right.
Plenty money
to do it. To do it. To do it. To do it.
It's just 6 words long.
Who was it who did that?
Weird Al.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
It's a great one. That whole album is great.
You broke me, Kelley.
I'm glad. I love to do it. I love to do it.
I love to do it with you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I love. Doing it with you. Doing it right. Doing it.
This move got everybody horny.
Hey,
there were mullets. There were big shoulders, tiny butts. There was jiggling dog titties.
There was great music. We haven't talked about the music so much. Like,
oh yeah,
all the hits from the late 70s, right? Like all the people you want to hear.
Yeah, it's funny too. Sometimes it's little snippets that when I was that age would burn in as like pure musical magic. Like I love that song type stuff when you're really that young. Was the Triumph bit that Lou Reed sings, which is just like a chorus and no verse, and it's only sung one time in the movie.
Yeah, I think that's what I was talking about, where he's trying to hypnotize everybody. Is that where he's like?
Yeah, that melody comes back later, and that's part of it. Yeah, but it's just so great. I'd play the clip, but I don't know what that would. Sometimes they'll flag.
Yeah, don't do
that.
Flaggity flag, Randall flag.
Yeah, but it's just watch. If you get the opportunity to watch it, and you'll maybe see. And the other thing I thought about watching this was Flash Gordon. The way the music, exactly. Like those little moments feel so epic and big in both movies, and that's like to me.
Well, that's like 70s rock. It's very epic, like stadium storytelling rock.
I think that's one of the reasons I like Muse so much. I think that they're one of the bands that are the closest to that. Them and and Radiohead.
I love an anthem.
Yeah,
like I like anthemic rock. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it doesn't always work for me, but I do like Muse, and I did like this soundtrack.
Yeah, are you a Flash Gordon fan?
No. I let me rephrase that. I haven't watched Flash Gordon as really as a grown up. It was not my thing as like a teen movie buff person when I saw it.
You're not into camp, right?
I'm not super into.
It's a totally campy movie.
But I do enjoy it. So like now revisiting it, I might
watch it on the biggest screen you've got with the sound up as high as it'll go. It's like that kind. It's just a music video.
Yeah.
And if you watch it as that, it's fucking killer.
Yeah.
So I do want to.
Don't look for story.
I want to revisit it. So
and get real high too.
I will. Traditionally, I don't like it, but I'm ready to revisit.
Yeah. It's weird and cheap in parts.
For Kelley, his people's traditions are that they don't like it.
Yeah.
But, as they move into the modern age,
I'm not beholden to my,
Yeah, they can change. He can change if he wants to.
I promise you.
Turning into Groucho Marx.
Do we all think Stretch was just Shaggy?
Or Archie? I got more Archie vibes.
He was Shaggy. That
wasn't me.
He was really adorable. He was kind of Shaggy is not quite as brain empty, I don't think.
I like when
I was trying to find a
Dizzy
way
was his
around that.
name. Dizzy and Stretch, like they had an epiphany together.
Yeah.
And at the moment they shouted the answer, they switched hat and glasses. Like they just switched them.
And you have my shoes and my hats and my
glasses. It's just cute.
A lot of real cute little animation things just to make it fun and interesting to look at. Like,
and Uncle Mikey was a
God, that was scary.
That was great too because they got a different team made that show.
It's like a show within a show and a movie. I mean, but this kids show, the main character, Uncle Mikey, is terrifying.
He's kind of like Krusty the Clown, but there's something sinister looking about him.
It's that benign facade and the sinister things he's saying and doing.
But he's saying nice things.
Yeah, he's teaching you about good and bad.
That's how
very Pennywisey.
Yeah, but it's what made the dumb one
question
things.
And he had a doll.
The sweet one. That's what I meant to say, not the dumb one.
Oh, like that moment where the dumb one, I forgot his name. What's his name?
The sweet one.
The sweet one. The dumb sweet one. He kind of turns on Mock.
Yeah.
And because he realizes that what they're doing is evil. And he asks his brother as he's dying. It's like, are we evil? I teared up at this moment because it was just so simple.
It's super sad.
It was a really great, really great storytelling moment. Like, because this movie also could easily have skipped over stuff like that. And it still would have been great.
And then we see just the close up of Cindy's roller skates and like, oh shit, she's dead too.
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
Oh no, I didn't either. Oh shit.
So you don't see it happen, but like you can just infer it. I mean, I assume that's what happened.
Oh, did you guys see that Catherine O'Hara was a voice on this?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, we almost forgot.
She was the tattoo artist. This is a Canadian movie, so that makes sense.
Yeah, she's obligated to be in every Canadian movie.
What are you gonna do? That's how it works.
I love it.
No,
so
really
much.
good movie.
Yes, well done, Kel.
Thanks. I always do good.
Yes,
so
you do.
You're a do-gooder.
I wanted to continue that.
We all know the only one that screws us up every year is Freddy.
Well, thank you. If you want to see Rock and Roll, it's on Prime, but it's formatted to the old TV format, square.
Yeah.
And
I watched.
Yeah,
I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Was YouTube widescreen?
Yeah.
I have to watch it on YouTube.
Freddy Morris.
And it's not a restore, I don't think, because there were like some grainy moments, and it made it better.
Yeah,
I like
the cigarette burns.
Yeah, Freddy kept telling me when it was time to change the reels.
Yeah, it was really. You should just watch
really
it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll do that because the one we watched it had all the artifacts on it, but it also it was a shame because I remember being at Horror Hound and they were selling a re-release on Blu-ray. It was all in HD and stuff. And I don't buy physical stuff anymore. I just do digital because our house is so tiny. But I really regret not picking it up just to see it cleaned up.
Yeah,
and kind of brightened maybe. Although it's still there is something about the grime, like Andy was saying earlier, the grime's part of it.
I agree. I mean, it worked. It really worked for me. Yeah, try it on YouTube, man. It was a really good. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it looked like there were times where the animation couldn't catch up to like the sound. It was like slow motion. It like stopped and sped up. I really like that because it felt like it was you're watching this underground copy. It felt dangerous.
Yeah.
If you like this movie, American Pop. We already talked about him. Pop. Yeah, American Pop.
That's Ralph Bakshi. That's real good.
It's so good.
All of his are real fun. The story. I don't think any Ralph Bakshi have the same level of storytelling. I think this is better than most of those. But all of those are great too. American Pop is great. I haven't seen Wizards.
Wizards is fun. It's not as good as this.
That's how Fire and Ice is. Fire and Ice is really great to look at, and there's a lot of cool stuff. It's not as good as this.
Yeah, you don't even have the sound on for Fire and Ice.
I almost I'll tell you this, listeners, because I told the crew this. I was trying to actually find Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings to do, because I do have I used to have that on VHS, but it was not easy or possible to find easily on streaming. So I jettisoned that. That was also part of what inspired me to choose this. I was like, what's like that?
Yeah, I remember I went when I was a kid, and the network video. I remember it vividly. Like,
oh yes,
once a week we got to go, and I was allowed to pick one thing. And I always, besides horror and stuff, like the thing that caught my attention were these grown-up cartoons. And I saw like this and Fritz the Cat. And then there was also like on, I think it might have been the movie channel. One of the pay cable channels had Heavy Traffic, which is this movie that is the furthest thing from what you think a kid should be watching, as far as like, you can see rock and roll and you can kind of see, okay, kids like this because there's music in it and there's these weird overblown characters. But, the same could be said of American Pop, that kids would like it just because it's music and it looks like people. It's normal.
Although that I don't think was meant for, I think American Pop was rated R. Like Fritz the Cat was X-rated for sure.
Yeah, American Pop wasn't. I'm not saying they're made for kids, but what I'm saying is like I can see why kids would be drawn to those movies.
I got you. Yes.
And then I got a hold of Heavy Traffic, which was a movie that is just straight up. It's Bakshi, but it's just straight up real. It's just him animating real situations like from his life. And it's dirty and it's weird.
I'll have to find this. I don't know this one.
It was like the most concentrated dose of adult themes I had at like age 6, maybe 7.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, it was weird. It was like seeing, if you think of like that era of New York City.
Yeah.
Like you watch old Taxi episodes and stuff. This is also part of that, my whole thing where I see New York as being all green, like pea green and different shades, like, of rust and patina and stuff.
I totally know what you mean.
This movie, Heavy Traffic, is fed into that some too. Super 70s.
I gotta find that shit. That's how I have a complicated relationship with Fritz the Cat, because it is so of its time. Like, and it's a lot of times I like that, but like the couple times I've watched that or tried to watch it, I was like, I can't with this. It is too much.
It freaked me out. Fritz did quite a bit.
It's hard to relate to a little bit.
Because you're not a cat.
Well, and because I'm not, I didn't grow up in 1969.
And you can't talk about Ralph Bakshi without mentioning the really super controversial the Coonskin. Did you see that?
No.
You don't have to mention these things.
Well, you do, because if you don't, somebody will email the show and be like, you guys talked about Bakshi, but you didn't bring up Coonskin.
I think we're beyond that. I don't care what.
Well, listen, Ralph Bakshi, I'm sure, did things.
I mean, given they were black characters voiced by black actors, but the style, and it's about racism. But I guess part of it is
is the animation style kind of?
Oh, I do remember seeing
offensive
a trailer for this or a clip of this. Yeah.
It's been like the NAACP actually came out in support of it, saying it's difficult to watch, but it's an important movie because it addresses a lot of stuff that nobody's talking about. Then I think it was in 73 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot. It's kind of like the Song of the South for this group of people, where it all depends on your interpretation,
right?
But it's drawn. It's probably some of the most racially charged drawings of people that you'll ever see in anything.
Well, is that the point?
Yeah, but Bakshi he's not black, right? Is he?
I don't think so.
I don't know if he's from the Middle East or
I think he's
descended from some other area in the world.
Gods and Kings.
Goddamn historical biographer. Oh, he's still alive.
He's probably from the Netherlands.
No, he is still
from Israel.
Israel, thank you.
Oh, there you go.
So,
all right, rock and roll.
Let's unpack.
Rock and roll.
Thank you, Kelley. I feel cooler for having seen this.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted everybody to feel cool.
Should I call the movers? Because we got a lot to unpack.
You don't want them helping you. They'll break it.
Yeah.
All right, well.
I will say that the Rock and Roll is going to be a hard one to beat for my favorite.
Andy, you're up next.
Do you have any ideas?
I do, but it's like one of those things where like you're worried that people don't like your choice because it kind of it's a reflection on you take it personal kind of.
All right, but don't.
You love these movies so much and you're afraid that other people won't because it's kind of like then they don't like me.
No, that's just the risk that we take watching movies.
Yeah. I think I might do Strange Days.
Oh, nice. Good choice. I haven't seen that forever.
Strange Days. What's that?
It's a sci-fi.
Catherine Bigelow from the 90s. Ralph Fiennes, Angela Bassett.
I like Angela Bassett.
The only thing is, it's hard to find. I have a DVD copy, so I'm going to have to get it to you guys.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Strange Days was the first movie I remember seeing where the TVs were shaped the way they are now as rectangles.
Yeah.
They were always square. Every other movie I can remember before that, they were almost always square. Anyways.
Square.
Yeah. So as of now, I think I'm going to go with Strange Days.
All right. Oh, James Cameron wrote this? Oh, were they married then?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Fun.
Also, somebody named Jay Cox is credited, and I just wanted to say Cox. Okay!
Cox.
Big Jay Cox.
The end of every show. We say hi to our Beelzebubs. These are our demons that are producer level.
Gassy Janice.
Oh. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. Alise!
With the voice and body of an angel.
Yeah, and she delivered you food while we were talking earlier.
She did. She brought me delicious.
Like an angel would.
Aren't angels' bodies like covered in like 100 eyes and they're like a big fucking gyroscope?
Why do you think she was wearing clothes? You don't need to see all that. Can't handle it.
Sorry, I was just thinking the original text.
Ernest, Perez, hello, hi.
Hi, Ernest.
Hey, Ernie.
A rock star in anyone's estimation.
This is a list of super rock stars.
Super rockers.
Mark Watts.
Yeah.
But not evil ones.
Did you
Lovely
skip
to
Amanda?
see you. I did. Sorry, but let me get back to this. Mark, it was lovely to see you on New Year's Eve. I hope you're feeling okay.
Indeed. Very nice.
Fun. Amanda.
Hello.
Hi, lady.
Is there Amanda Hug and Kiss? I'm looking for Amanda Hug and Kiss.
Moving down to Blake. What up, Blake?
Hey, boy.
Bill. Hello, sir.
There
Hope you're
you
having a
are.
lovely New Year.
Right there in New York.
Tree and Alex.
Hey, guys.
Hi. We got Jeffel.
Jeff. Oh, what?
Can we do the Jeffel shuffle?
Yeah, let's do it.
Does this sound like it's raining outside?
I don't hear anything. Iona Goodwin.
That's a great one.
Thank you, Freddy.
You should see it.
We got Branan and Emily.
Hey, guys.
Hello, my
Hello,
babies. Adam Ingram, hi.
High five to you, sir.
High five to you, sir. Bill also had a wonderful time hanging out with.
Great
New Year's
seeing you
Eve.
for NYE.
He's a hero.
It was great.
We got Blayne.
Blayne.
Yeah.
Alyssa. Happy New Year. My sweet friend who understands that I'm not good at texting. And Monica, who joined us for New Year's.
Hey, what's up, girl?
Brian, who was also there hanging out with us.
The Champagne Gang. That's what we should call ourselves now.
The
But everyone
Champagne Gang.
who was at the New Year's Eve meetup is now part of the
Champagne
Champagne Gang.
Oh, shit. The
And
champagne.
finally, we've got Carla, our newest
Aww.
and best. I don't know why I said that. Everybody is great on this list. You're great too, Carla. But this is a list of fantabulous people. You can't get any better. That's it. Speaking of the Champagne Gang,
Any better.
by the time we quit the Zoom call on New Year's Eve, I was 8 sheets.
Yeah, we
To the
had
wind.
2 bottles of champagne.
You were a champagne champ?
I was a champagne champ, and I had a migraine the next day.
We sprung for the $9 champagne.
Yeah, so I got 2.
Oh, Zowo.
Oh, it was good. It was really good.
It'll hit you fast, though.
It was nice and cold. It was like sody pop for the drunk.
There you go. Sody pop for the drunk. Great classic album.
You know? All right, I think we did it.
I think
we did it.
We'll see you next week.
All right, see y'all next week.
Bye.
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 Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of